following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
I don't mind talking to people, though.
Welcome back to the Big Yac.
Good.
It is I, Nico Stellan-Benny, and alongside me is longtime friend of the show, Dom Brown. Welcome back. How have you been?
I've been good, man. How are you?
It's been a while. As you can see, we're here on the new set with this excellent wide shot of what we're working with now. So we have officially moved. Emerge has moved just a couple miles away, but into a much bigger space.
It's nice.
So
it's beautiful.
It's so much fun. I mean, you can see it. It's in its infancy right now, and so you can kind of see it for what it is, and then we'll be able to kind of see what it's going to become.
Yeah.
So a lot of different new opportunities are presenting itself, multiple different studios. So the idea is to have, multiple shows going on at once, and this being an overall just multi-creator living space.
The space.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the
space. Yes.
So Rich Moreno, he's been working real hard to get this all done. He was just saying, he's sometimes spending 12, 14-hour days just putting all this together. And so huge shout out to Moranto. He's still rummaging around, putting some stuff away and still working. So shout out to him. And yeah, a lot of big things coming for Emerge and just continuing to grow. It's awesome.
Yes, I'm ready to be part of it.
So what's going on with you? What you been up to? It's been a while. It's been almost a year since we had you on.
Yeah, so musically, I've released 2 albums since this year.
Plug them up. What do you got?
The first one's called The Bad Neighbor Project.
All right.
That one, it consists of like me rapping, like no hooks, just straight bars.
Just bars?
Yeah.
All right.
And then it's one like R&B singy song on the end, just like threw it on there.
Got it. You gotta throw.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Some people don't like the gritty rap.
Yeah.
And then the people that don't like that, I released an album called Escape. It's like more vibes, like R&B, pop, dance. It's more songs where I'm singing.
Yeah.
Full songs with hooks. Then I got a new album coming, hopefully before June.
All right.
Yeah. This is gonna be the first time I even say the name. So I'm gonna be naming this third album Scorched Earth, Leaving Dead Grass. And I mean, I'll leave that up for interpretation for most people, but it basically just means that, it's new beginnings, leaving the past in the past in all aspects. I feel like I had to do a lot of that, like musically, like in my whole like music career,
Everything.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I should actually mention, I mean, most of you probably know Dom Brown from his Bills Mafia anthems. That's where
Bills.
he kind of got his claim to fame, talking Bills over rap, and
Yes.
you go to any Bills tailgate, and you're gonna hear that song play at least once. I've heard it a bunch of times in multiple tailgates, and he's been picking up some steam, and he's been working with a lot of local creators and a lot of different foundations to raise awareness for things he's passionate about through music.
Yeah.
You were telling me about raising a bunch of money for leukemia
for
lymphoma.
for leukemia and lymphoma. So I was part of a team that was raising money. Still, my link is still up on my Instagram. You can raise money for blood cancers. So ironically enough, I have a Crucial Catch jersey on. Shout out to the Lucky Wing Company for giving me this. But I forgot what I was even going at.
With leukemia and
yes,
lymphoma.
so we raised money for the blood cancers, leukemia and lymphoma. I actually had like personal connection with both. My aunt had leukemia and my daughter's mom had lymphoma. They both are in remission right now, so that's great. But I was very passionate about raising money, and we had an event recently, and we didn't win. We didn't win the whole event, but we raised a lot of money.
That's good, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to do more stuff like that lately.
Good.
Try to get more in the community and show my face in that light. Everyone knows I, like an educator, make music, but I want to be part of like certain foundations and
something bigger, right?
Yeah.
Good. Good. That's awesome to hear. And, kind of leading into that, I know, obviously you still got to ride for the Bills. You're still making music for the Bills.
Yes,
I know
yes.
with all of this turnover on the team, a new anthem's got to come out.
I had to.
You can't even use digs anymore. I mean,
no, you know what? I will. Someone gave me advice before, was like, stop saying people's names in the songs. And like, I was always like, man, forget you. But now I'm like, yeah, I might have to stop saying people's names except Josh Allen.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's crazy how much turnover the Bills have had in this past season alone. We'll talk more about that later on in the show. But your music was all based on Bills, and I know right now you're almost starting to branch out, like you were talking about in the beginning.
For sure. Yeah,
and your real roots and why you really made the music was for your range in different types of genres.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, I was listening to some of your music, and it's some of it. You do have your gritty rap, you have your like hard bars, but then like you said, the vibe and
I got the like soft bars too.
I don't want to say like pop-esque.
No, it's pop. It's pop.
Like,
yeah,
it has that just like more like danceable type beats.
Radio
music is a good way to put it.
More radio friendly stuff. I think that I don't know what my core genre is right now. I feel like whatever I feel at the moment. Radio music has always been my thing. Like growing up, my parents always liked the mainstream like R&B. So that's always been my thing. And like now pop is all music. Like it's just, that's what if it's pop, that means it probably has elements of dance, rap,
whatever's popular.
Yeah, nowadays country. Yeah.
I've seen all those the rappers with country albums.
I think country is becoming pop now.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I enjoy listening to Beyonce's country album.
I think that's a hot take. Not for me, but like a
lot of people didn't like it, and I was okay with it.
I think it's fire.
I
think it's dope. Like I think why not?
I don't really listen to a lot of country music, but one song that kind of like resonates with my childhood a lot, just like growing up and hearing it because like my family's obsessed with it, was Jolene. Dolly Parton, Jolene, and she killed her version of Jolene,
she did.
And that was a great track.
She did. I think that having Dolly Parton's like cosign was like a stamp.
She's on the album.
Yeah, she's on the album talking her ish. Yeah, man, she's on a skit. That's so funny.
Before we go back into football, we're on the topic of pop and rap. I got to see where you stand on the Kendrick and Drake beef. I know we're a little bit outdated at this point, but
I was almost, honestly, it was like, I hope he doesn't ask me that. Because, like, to be honest, like, the internet is not real life. So what I'm saying on Twitter and stuff, that's just my feelings at the moment. I'm a huge Drake stan, but he took a L.
Yeah, it's looking like it. And we were talking about this a little bit pre-show with, like, Meet the Grams totally overshadowed Family Matters, and it sucks because Family Matters was such a good track.
Fire. I think it was amazing. Like I was listening to Family Matters with my girl. I mean, she probably has videos of me like first listen, like hype. Like,
nothing wrong with that.
We were listening to Family Matters. I was like, oh, you heard him, and then I was like, Kendrick Lamar dropped again.
It was like not even.
And then it was the darkest song in the world. He said, "Dear Adonis."
Just let off with, "I'm gonna address your son."
Yeah, and then I'm address your mom, and then I'm gonna address your dad, then I'm gonna address your alleged 11-year-old, then I'm gonna address you. And Family Matters is still fire, but like
the last 2.5 minutes of Family Matters where Drake was just talking
Kendrick
straight
just opened his mouth.
Someone going, "I'm a Grammy."
Oh my God, where's your uncle at? Yo, he's going in. Yeah, but like Euphoria, Not Like Us. I think
that's the thing. And then after Meet the Grams, he came out with a club banger.
Yeah, he out Drake. And I don't know if Drake was not. I don't know if he was unprepared, but I don't want to go too deep in the rabbit hole. But like, I feel like the song is talking about alleged some bad stuff.
Right. Some real messed up shit.
And
that's plain and simple.
Yeah, it's like horrible stuff. So like you can't win that battle. He responded and said like that stuff's not true, and then people said
right.
And as a fan, it sounds horrible saying like I'm too famous, I'm too rich, and it's like he really
forgot about the Heart Part 6.
I mean, he was snapping though, and he said he flipped that A minor bar and said you got to B sharp.
Yeah,
you thought you left D flat but D major. Like, that's a bar.
That's some good lyricism right there.
But Kendrick Lamar, like, congrats to you. He's having the biggest moment of his career. He has 3 songs on the Hot Billboard top 10 right now.
That's
without an album out.
I saw that side-by-side graphic where it was just like comparing number 1 hits versus it's crazy. I mean, both of them, you have to respect both of them in their own rights. Kendrick, has the lack of just numbers that he put out.
He only has 79 songs up there, and like Drake had 320, which Kendrick doesn't.
Yeah, so
Kendrick doesn't.
You know the exact graphic I'm talking about.
I do. I know that graphic because I was using that. Like, oh, look at this. He ain't got. But I can't hate anymore, man. I was hating throughout the whole thing, but like I'm at the house, like rapping, like, is it the braids? like
my friend just we'll randomly send each other texts from time to time, like just like funny stuff, and
then like honestly, like rap beef is just like everywhere.
It's back. Rap beef is back. But he texted me just an audio message. I'm like, what did he say? He goes, "Say Drake, I heard you like him young." And that was the whole audio message.
Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? I'm like, what? Yeah, it was strategic. I think if you get deeper, I think that Drake may have said some stuff that Kendrick didn't want to defend, and like so he doubled down on the pedophile stuff, and like she strategically doubled down. Like you got the world in the club saying certified lover boy, certified pedophile. What? Like what? Like
who would have thought that this was going to be the timeline?
Honestly, I think if Drake's in the club, like there's no way he can't be bopping his head. I mean, he said on the Heart Part 6 the song was good. He's just doubling down, tripling down on lies. But hey, they both might have been lying.
That's good. So I obviously had to get your take on that.
Yeah. I mean, I was heavily into it.
We were talking about you're a Drake. I mean, you're a Drake guy. So
yeah,
I had to hear the thoughts.
Yep, I kept it real here first.
So let's talk about some football. That's what we're all here for.
Yes.
So first and foremost, before we get into the big news, obviously the NFL schedule just dropped a half hour ago. All the games are now out.
I have not seen this yet.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting your raw reaction. Yes. I haven't even really had the time to look at it in depth because I've been preparing for the show. So we're going to get some raw reaction on that. But first and foremost, you're a Bills guy. I'm a Bills guy. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about what's going on with that wide receiver room.
Oh.
Well, or I guess I should say the lack thereof.
So to me, it's going to always resort to who the leader is. Mm-hmm. So the leader is Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. And when I think of a leader, I think of LeBron James.
Yep.
He builds his teammates up. So it doesn't look like the wide receiver room is going to get any better or get good. But I don't want to hate too hard because like these are definitely some players that on Madden I don't ball out with these boys on Madden. But like who is our number one?
So right now, I mean, as it stands, I guess you'd have to say the number one is Dalton Kincaid, and he's not even a wide receiver. So he's going to be a target hound.
So, yeah.
But I mean, they went and obviously they drafted Keon Coleman at the top of the second round. They got Khalil Shakir returning, and that's it for starters.
I love Khalil Shakir.
I'm a big fan of Khalil Shakir. And if you look at the deep down stats too, all the next gen stats point to him being a reliable, great target for Josh Allen.
Watching him, it's just like he passes the eye test. Like I'm picturing that play where he spins around, he just broke from everybody, and like people say he's small, but isn't he the same like height as Diggs? In weight, no?
He is. Hold on, I can get his measurements up right now. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty much Diggs' measurements.
Yeah, because he could he could be a number one.
Diggs is 195 pounds.
And 6'1"?
I think 6. Where is he? Yeah, 6 foot, 195 pounds.
Oh, so
Diggs has 5 pounds on
yeah,
Khalil Shakir,
and,
otherwise
I mean,
it's the same measurement.
Yeah. So when people always talk about Khalil Shakir being small, but it's like he's Diggs size.
It's the slot receiver persona.
Yeah,
you know? It's like that idea where it's like, okay, you think slot receiver, you automatically are going to think of like a guy that's short and fast.
So I forgot about him, but I think he's gonna ball out. Dalton Kincaid, like I think he's gonna have to be our Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they drafted him to do. You know what I mean? They have Dawson Knox still on the roster, making a lot of money to do what he does. And you know what? He's a much better blocker than Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, I don't think Dalton Kincaid wants to block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, where it's like you almost have to treat him just like a big wide receiver.
Yeah, but Kelce blocks a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but when when Kincaid's out there, you know he's gonna be going out for a route.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You think of Travis Kelce, you don't think about his blocking prowess.
Never.
And so it's the same thing with Kincaid. I mean, you think of his route running and his hands.
He's gonna have to ball out this year.
So it's got to be. I think if I'm looking at this especially from like a fantasy football perspective, I would be okay with drafting Dalton Kincaid in the second or third round of fantasy drafts, just knowing there's no one else to get all those targets.
I think Cook is going to get a lot of targets.
Do you think James Cook is?
Yeah. I think there were some drops last year that were critical, but he can improve. He's going to be in his third year.
Yeah.
So he's improved.
This is going to be like an athletic
from
prime
1 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that 2 to 3, it's almost like a running back's prime.
I think he'll get a lot of targets. You're right, because he is one of the only returning starters on offense. Ray Davis is another name who they drafted in the 4th round this year out of Kentucky. I mean, he had 17 touchdowns in his last season. I mean, 17 touchdowns is 17 touchdowns for a D1 program. I mean,
that's a touchdown
that's
a
a
game.
lot. And
how many games do they play? They only play like 10 or 11.
12.
Oh, 12. Oh, so he had
over a touchdown a game.
Yeah.
Exactly. So his production is there, and he has some similar skill sets to James Cook, but he's just a little bit thicker.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll see him a lot on the goal line. Again, I'm kind of relating this back to fantasy. I think he's going to be our I'm blanking on his name, the Lions running back from 2 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Jamal Williams.
Yep, Jamal Williams.
Yeah,
That's
Jamal
who I'm talking
Williams.
about. He's going to be Jamal Williams for fantasy this year.
what
Maybe not
is
this
that
year,
guy?
maybe next year, but he's got like the similar size. He's got that.
That would be great.
Goal line a lot.
If our young players can step up, Josh Allen can be Josh Allen. Like, how much can he take over? Like, I feel like he has to mature too. Like, people can't. I feel like as Bills fans, you can't criticize Josh Allen, or it's like, oh, you're not a fan. But it's like he can improve as well.
Oh, totally.
Like, he can improve. Like, you're not the best quarterback yet. You
Right.
can be. You
Patrick Mahomes still exists.
Yeah, you still have that potential to make that case.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and get a ring or two.
What's interesting is what I've seen a lot of Chiefs fans be like, oh, yeah, Josh Allen's undisputed number 2. It's interesting that he's starting to now, after this year, getting a lot of that respect. And so there's,
I feel like they hate Burrow a little bit.
They do.
But I mean, I'm not saying that Burrow's better than Josh Allen. I don't.
If Joe
I don't
Burrow
believe
could stay
that.
healthy for a full season, I mean,
We'll see.
he beat Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He beat him pretty good.
Ooh, he beat
twice.
the Bills. That was a horrible
The
game.
playoff game. I mean, Bengals beat the brakes off.
Yeah,
the
that
Bills.
was a horrible game, and they picked us apart.
That was ugly. I remember me and Molly were in Toronto at the time, and I bought whatever Canada's like sports streaming service was, just so I could watch the game. It was like I can't even remember the name of it, but I had to pay however much to just see it, just to see them get beat down.
Yeah, I mean,
kidding me?
And with that happening, then what was it? The Chiefs this past year. Like, everything's blending in, and it's almost like the fan
Same
base
old
is
story
getting
every
crazy
year.
toxic online, like on X, on Twitter. Like, I try to stay away from Bills talk for a while, just because it gets crazy.
Exactly. I had to give myself a little bit of a Bills, just a football break.
Honestly, I kind of stopped giving my opinions on stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
go
always
Bills.
going to be
Just to
someone
go
that
Bills.
disagrees with you.
Just to go Bills.
So rounding it back over to the wide receiver room. So I mean, they drafted Keon Coleman. They signed KJ Hamler earlier in the offseason. Quintez Cephas. Curtis Samuel was the big signing who we thought would pair really well with Diggs. Obviously, they shipped Diggs off to Houston, but then they went and signed Mac Hollins. They signed Andy Isabella's coming back. Justin Shorter will be returning off of IR this year, so we'll actually be able to see him. They just went and grabbed MVS on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I seen that.
An incentive-laden deal for MVS, and you know what? Say what you want about him, but he shows up in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds so. When you say those names, it's not the worst thing in the world. It sounds like the last chance you of wide receiver room.
I said I said it to someone. It was like, this is when you're in a fantasy draft, you're like round 13 or 14. These are all the wide receivers that are left on the board.
Can they get me a touchdown every 4 weeks?
And let's not forget about the big one.
But if they can do that collectively, each get a touchdown every 4 weeks, like. I mean, there are a lot of different players that Josh Allen has to learn.
Yep.
And I don't know, that kind of worries me because him and Gabe Davis seemed like they didn't truly connect.
Right.
And they were together for a little bit.
4 years.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll see if it was a Gabe Davis thing or if it was a option thing from the Josh Allen thing.
It was a Josh Allen thing. Yeah. Let's not forget too, the most controversial one was they went and grabbed Mapletron himself, Chase Claypool, on a 1-year deal as well.
Forgot about him.
So let's
wait. Oh my God, I can picture him. Was that him? He was celebrating early during a game. He played for the Steelers and celebrated like, and then like something bad happened from him celebrating early. But like I remember him like making bonehead plays all the time.
You know what? He had that fantastic rookie year, and then all of a sudden just kind of dropped.
He's like a Calvin Benjamin-ish.
That's a pretty good. I think
but probably way more in shape.
Yeah.
I hope.
I
mean, all of these players won't make the team.
So I'm going to ask you that. So, you know, we're going to make the assumption that Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, and Mac Hollins all make the team. They gave Mac Hollins good enough money to where I think that he'll stick around. They just signed MVS on an incentive deal too, so that's 5 right then and there. That means
I
the
like
Bills
KJ Hamler.
That's.
I mean, but then they want the fans 6. Like Isabella. The fans want Shorter, but it's like it does come down to like you're not gonna want them over KJ Hamler.
Quintez Cephas, KJ Hamler, Justin Shorter, Chase Claypool, Tyrell Shavers, who was a practice squad kind of fan favorite. They're all fighting for that wide receiver 6 spot. So it's like, you know, like you said too, where you look at it and it's not like it's a horrible wide receiver room. But there's just no alpha.
Yeah,
there's
and hopefully
just no number
there's
one.
no ego. If there's no ego, I mean, we'll see how the team runs without that. I mean, like I love Steph Diggs.
Yep.
Like I mean, I still do. Like
I
am not on that train.
I will forever root for Stephon Diggs and what he did for Buffalo.
But I feel like he had a big ego.
Of course. Yeah, you know, and I want to say like he earned his right to have that big ego. He put up the numbers.
He had a quarterback ego though to me. And
yeah,
it's
that's fair.
The game only runs as much as you get targeted.
Right.
And you got to block too, man, I guess. But these wide receivers don't pass themselves the ball, so it's like his opportunities.
You got to make the most with every single.
Yeah. And he didn't. I guess like down the stretch.
My goodness, down the stretch. I mean, he was non-existent.
Yeah.
Now, I can attribute some of that to double teams. I can attribute some of that to game plan. I know the Bills became much more run heavy when Joe Brady took over the play calling. So, you know, I can attribute some of that to that. But I mean, he didn't eclipse a 100-yard game after week 7 of the season.
Yeah.
He's your guy making $20 million a year as wide receiver. So I get from a numbers perspective on why they moved him, but it is unfortunate.
Team is insane. Houston.
Oh my goodness!
Like people don't realize they had a rookie defensive player, they had 2 rookies on offense, rookie coach. I'm sure there's other rookies, but like those were all standout players. Was Nico Collins a rookie?
No, he was.
Who was the rookie then? What was his name?
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell. Like, oh my God, the quarterback.
Let me read you that wide receiver room real quick. Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Noah Brown. They traded for Ben Skoranek out of from the Rams. Robert Woods. Who else? They drafted Jackson Janke. They signed Jackson Janke as a on an undrafted free agent. John Mechie, Noah Brown. I mean, these are all names. These are all really.
If they get cut, they're going to another team immediately.
Exactly. This team, their wide receiver 5 is starting on 20 teams.
And Stroud is a beast.
He's him.
He is him.
I got nothing else. He's him.
Like he is him. Like
he's
when I watch him, like
5.
I don't see any hesitation. I don't see like him being like beady-eyed on the sideline when he makes a bad play. Like he's a baller, yo. And he's having fun with it. And he's very if you watch like behind the scenes stuff, like he's very knowledgeable of the game.
He is, and that's where the S2 scores. That's where they all try to knock him. That's how they all tried to knock him in the pre-draft process last year, if I remember correctly. Doesn't matter. He is so smart. Who cares? You could be the smartest guy in the world and not be a great test taker, and this is exactly what we're looking at. And I don't know. I don't got much to say.
Not trying to boast Houston. We're gonna be figuring out soon when we're playing them. I mean, they know out there, but I don't know anything yet.
I'll tell you.
And I got my seasons. It's my third year.
Oh, you got
third
them?
or fourth year? I don't remember, but I moved seats this year.
Where you at now?
In the 200s. I was in the 300s.
Okay,
before.
all right.
I'm paying less.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you over like towards end zone, or were you?
Honestly, I was seeing we were paying less. I was like, yo, I don't even remember exactly where, but I'm like,
I know the rock
50-yard line 300, 50-yard line 300 level are great. So like, I'm probably gonna regret it.
Was that where you were before 50-yard line 300?
It was like 40. It was like 35, 40, but like up there it looked, up there it looked like 50.
I had a good friend of mine who we would buy tickets from time to time. His seats were up in the 300s, but it was like right towards midfield, so it was a perfect view.
Yeah, no, like that was like how,
it was like
how you would want to watch a game.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, congratulations on that.
I mean, I probably won't have them long. Like, I'm not getting what do you call those licenses?
The PSLs.
PSLs. Like, I can't afford that. Go keep streaming my album. Maybe I will be able to afford it. Keep streaming my music.
Let's keep bumping up.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you're not. I don't know, man. If you're not in a certain class, like, I don't know how you're gonna even afford those.
That's gonna be a really interesting development.
Yes.
As these next couple of years progress and as the stadium's being built, because like you said, I don't know who's going to be able to afford that. And when you're paying as much as everyone does for rent right now, for eggs, for gas, how do you spend this many $1,000 on a football game?
That's
when
why
you can spend $800
changed my seats.
A huge TV.
That's why I changed my seats, man. I'm like, cheaper, okay.
So while we're on the topic of the Bills, why I called you in here today, it's time to talk about that schedule.
Let's get it.
So you haven't
I have not seen anything.
So I'm gonna just read off the Bills schedule first and foremost to you. I'm not gonna read all 200, however many games that are total are.
Yeah.
We'd be here all night.
No, I just need the Bills.
But the Bills. So week 1 is confirmed, a 1:00 game at home against the Cardinals. Week 2 is Thursday Night Football away at Miami.
That's September 12th?
September 12th, yes, sir.
I think I'll be in Greece.
Okay, all right.
For a wedding.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, that's a spot.
Yeah, right. It is. I'm hype. I'm acting like I'm not hype about it, but I'm hype.
Week 3, home game against the Jags, Monday Night Football, September 23rd.
Okay. I like our first 3 weeks.
Oh man, this is a gauntlet.
I like our first 3 weeks though.
Yeah? Wait till you hear week 4. Sunday Night Football at Baltimore, followed up by week 5, 1:00 game at Houston, followed up by Monday Night Football, week 6, October 14th, at the Jets. That
was 3 through 6. Oh, that's 4 through 7.
This was 3 through 6.
That was 3 through 6.
Yep, 4. No, actually, yeah,
4 through 6.
4 through 6. So that stretch right there, I mean,
Houston, Baltimore, Jets.
That's going to be
so
a
that
tough
was Sunday night, 1 o'clock Sunday night, 1 o'clock, and then another night game. The Jets Monday night.
They have 3 weeks in a row where they're all primetime. The Bills are going to be on primetime 3 weeks in a row, starting with Miami Thursday Night Football.
None of them are home.
Just the Jags. The Jags is Monday Night Football at home. So the Jags 7:30 Monday night. Gabe Davis revenge game, and then Baltimore.
Someone else
Sunday
is over
football.
there. Not just Gabe Davis.
You're right. Someone is over there.
Yeah, someone else went over there too. Oh, who was it?
Was it another receiver?
I don't even remember where.
I'm trying to look to see if I can pull it up real quick.
Someone else went.
Well, I know Mac Jones went over there, but that's you're talking Bills.
Yeah, I swear someone else from the Bills.
Mitch Morse. Mitch Morse went over there.
The center.
Yes.
Yeah. Starter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be their starting center. That's for sure.
I mean, I like the first 3 weeks.
Cardinals, Dolphins, Jags.
I like that.
The Jags, they gave them trouble in London, but I think that the Bills
they give
bounce
trouble
back.
all the time.
Exactly.
Like,
for whatever reason, the Jags
that Tyrod playoff game haunts me.
The Jags have had the Bills' numbers in recent years.
Remember Blake Bortles went off.
Oh man, remember when Blake Bortles?
Yeah, that was that playoff game, man, with Doug Marrone. Like, he looked like Tyrod against us. Blake Bortles.
Remember Blake Bortles squaring off against Ben Roethlisberger? That was that same year, right? 2017.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was when the Jags went to the AFC Championship. Oh, how far we've come. Okay. Cardinals, Dolphins, Jags, Ravens, Texans, Jets. Then they're finally back at home after a 3-game away stretch. October 20th, 1 o'clock game against the Titans.
28th?
20th.
Oh, 20th?
Yeah.
Against
October
the Titans?
20th against the Titans. That's got to be a get-right game. That has to. And,
I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of Titans friends. Titans fans that's friends us. So they'll be coming up for that.
Followed up with the Seahawks away. Then followed up by their home game against Miami, Week 9, November 3rd. So it's not too cold. It's just right there. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Bills versus the Dolphins home field advantage. Both times got neutralized. The Bills
now it's
are
Thursday night, and then
exactly.
And then
they're out of the sun
November
on Thursday
game.
night, and then a November game where the weather is honestly beautiful in
Against
Buffalo.
Jordan Poyer?
Against Jordan Poyer, yep. The Poyer revenge game too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of that.
Followed up with an away game on November 10th against the Colts, Week 10, and then they go into America's Game of the Week. I know for a fact that's what it'll be. Bills home versus the Chiefs, November 17th.
A Sunday 1 o'clock?
It's a Sunday 4:25 game. So that is going to be the game to go to this year, I'm sure. It's going to be the week before Thanksgiving, all that hype. The Bills actually have a bye week for Thanksgiving week. Week 12 is their bye.
So they got, go all out that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
And then they come back from their bye on Sunday Night Football for another home game against the Niners. They go back to back.
Yo, these are some box office games.
These are some real good games, and these two are both home games. The Chiefs game and the Niners games are both 2 in a row.
Or the week with the bye.
Yeah, there's a bye in between both games, so you face both Super Bowl teams. That's fun. That's going to be real fun to be in Buffalo during that time.
Yeah.
Followed up by an away visit December 8th against Los Angeles, the Rams, that is. Followed up with an away game at Detroit, December 15th.
That's going to be a game.
That's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a dogfight.
That'll be a game probably. That'll be something. I don't know if I have anything playing right now, but that's the one that I thought. That's the first game that I, in my head, I said I want to go to.
It's a logical.
Detroit and Buffalo fans are like.
It's a logical away game to go to in terms of it's not a far drive.
Detroit. Yeah,
and then they have this
a 425 game.
It's a 420. So it's realistically, you could travel that too.
Yeah.
You could leave early that day of the game and then just stay overnight somewhere. Yeah. We might see each other because that sounds like a lot of fun.
No, that does. That does.
So then their last home stretch Notice how there's a team that they haven't faced yet.
Mm-hmm. I just pulled it up on my phone. I just looked.
The Patriots.
Yeah.
They have the Patriots,
Last
then the
3
Jets,
weeks.
then the Patriots again.
That's weird.
They did this with, I think it was the Patriots last year, too, where they just had them, like, kind of close to each other late in the season. So that happened again. This time they go to New England as their last game of the season.
To be determined.
Josh Allen versus Drake May. That'll be a fun one.
And then Aaron Rodgers is going to be starting for the Jets, right?
Yep. He should be back. I mean, I believe he'll be starting week 1. He almost made that push for the playoffs last year.
Prime
but
time, man.
Yeah. I mean, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 primetime games this year, and then another 4:25 game. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 primetime, 4 o'clock games. And then the rest are 1s. That's a solid schedule.
I don't see anything too bad with it.
No, I think all the big games are kind of spread out.
I mean, and like as much as like people are down on us, like every game is winnable.
I'll tell you what.
If
they can get through that 3-game away stretch early in the season where they have the Ravens, then at the Texans, then at the Jets, if they can come out of that 2-1, or if they get through the first 6 weeks and they're 4-2, they're in a great spot.
I think those first 3 games, they need to show they need to go all out. They need to go all out and like figure out how to mesh. If they can take some chances, I think those first 3 games
those first 3 games are definitely winnable. You got 2 home games and Miami, which the Bills have had Miami's number.
No, home opener is the first game. Oh wait, yeah. So the first game of the season is a home game.
Yep.
All right. Oh, that'd be so.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be
Arizona.
lot of fun.
So is that Kyler Murray and?
And who else? It's Kyler Murray and we'll actually be able to see Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh my God, that's right.
That'll be a real fun game to see.
I know this is probably a little off, but what's going on with him in the jersey thing?
I still don't know. You can't buy his jersey yet.
Is he trying to get some equity?
I wonder if it's kind of like an agent negotiation thing.
Something that's going to change the landscape.
Like his party is almost like, okay, we're almost getting a raw deal out of this. Like, change your numbers, or else my client is not going to have his jersey sold.
And he needs more money off of this. Arizona, no one on Arizona was getting this jersey. No one was selling this much of jersey in Arizona ever.
I'll tell you what, this is building a lot of hype for his jersey alone.
I don't really remember seeing him too much in college. A few highlights I've seen, it looked like he was dominating.
I mean, he's a generational wide receiver talent.
So I'm excited to see.
He's like what Bijan Robinson was for wide receivers.
Like Kyler Murray's future is going to depend on Marvin Harrison's season.
Mm-hmm. That's what.
And it's like I don't know if that's fair, but it's his future is going to be based on how good Marvin Harrison does, even if it's not even if it's Marvin Harrison's fault.
So, that's the Bills' schedule. I mean, like you said, the big games.
Listen, we're going to go over 500.
That's it. Oh yeah, I still think they have a chance to win the East.
Yeah, definitely. The Dolphins, man.
It's still theirs to lose. The Bills are 12-1 against the Dolphins in the last 13 games.
Forget the Dolphins. I don't want to even talk to a Dolphins fan. The New England Patriots, whatever. We're not worried about them anymore. The Jets, I'm not really worried about the Jets, but they beat us with Zach Wilson last year.
The Jets always give the Bills a tough game. That happens every year.
I don't know, man. The coach is going to have to be getting looked at a lot this year too.
If they can go 4-2 for the division, I think that'll be enough to win it.
Yeah,
4-2 in the division, that's definitely going to be.
You need to sweep New England.
Yep.
It's going to be 2 cold games. The rookie probably hopefully doesn't really.
Sean McDermott has a really good record against rookie quarterbacks too.
Yeah, he confuses them, and they always come out and say I don't know if they ghost defenses or something like that. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
They always come out and say he disguised this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Josh, they get Josh like that too.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, I hope Jordan Poyer doesn't pick him off.
Oh man, that would be ugly. Week 2.
Oh my God, he's gonna talk his junk too.
So I want to talk to you, too, before we go about just some of the marquee games, the marquee matchups that are happening throughout the league. I mean, week 1 is going to be a pretty fun slate. Let's see what we have here. So Sunday Night Football, you got the Matt Stafford versus Jared Goff revenge game. The playoff, the playoff
Rams versus
rematch.
Detroit.
Rams versus the Lions, Sunday Night Football, week 1. Week 2, we get to see Caleb Williams in action on Sunday Night Football.
Against who?
Bears versus Texans.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It might be a slug. It might be.
I mean, the Bears could absolutely be what the Texans were last year.
The Bears could surprise a lot of people.
Like the Texans surprised everybody. I feel like the Bears, these young guys can show. I mean, I don't think anyone thought C.J. Stroud was going to be elite.
Right, not the way that he came out the gate.
They were down on him, like, he was like Ohio State, whatever. Yeah,
right, Ohio State quarterbacks, this, that, whatever.
Ooh, I like that though.
Week 3 for Sunday Night Football is Kansas City at Atlanta, which is an interesting one. I think that's going to be kind of a snooze fest, me personally.
Sunday night, week 3.
Mm-hmm. That's a weird one to have Sunday night, but it's followed up by Bills Ravens, which is obviously a marquee matchup. So those are the first 4 games for Sunday Night Football. Some of the big ones just throughout the season that I know I'm excited for. Leading off with Texans Cowboys. That is
Diggs versus Diggs.
The Diggs brothers showdown. And this is the Battle of Texas. These teams don't really see each other that often.
No, and oh my God, right now Texas is like. Texans is better than Cowboys.
I would say so. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't even think about the Cowboys like that anymore. Dak Prescott, like I feel like he's good, but it's like, what are you doing? What have you done?
And then obviously we'd be remiss to not include the first game, the inaugural game of the season, Ravens at Chiefs. That's gonna be a
Thursday night.
That's the Thursday night game. That's the NFL kickoff game.
All right,
that's going to be a showdown.
We'd love to see one of those teams with an L.
Oh, yeah.
First week.
Either one of them. Exactly. What else do we have? We have Lions at Niners week 17. This could have potential seeding in mind. This is the last week of the season. Or actually second to last week of the season. But this would be like...
Did they play last year?
Mm-hmm. They played
after he beat Stafford. After he beat Stafford. Yeah, that's right.
And then there's also an interesting one, Sean Payton's revenge game. It's on my birthday, week 7, October 17th.
Who is he coaching?
Thursday Night Football.
Who is he coaching?
Denver at Saints. What else do we have?
Who's Harbaugh coaching?
The Chargers.
Okay.
There's actually the Harbaugh brothers game the week of Thanksgiving. It's the Monday Night Football. The Monday before Thanksgiving, it's Ravens at Chargers.
That's cool.
So that's going to be a real fun game. Cool. That's going to be, it's kind of like it blends really well.
They played in the Super Bowl together before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then week 8, here's going to be like, the ratings are going to chew this one up. Cowboys at Niners, week 8, Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those games. That's going to be the social media Super Bowl. Those two fans are
social media Super Bowl. Coin that.
Yeah, that's a social media Super Bowl. Those fans, man, whoever loses that game, the opposite team is going to be on social media all week long. They still ride on the Aikman days and the Jerry Rice days.
So that's the schedule. I mean, how are we feeling?
I feel good. I would say, without giving a deep look at it, just getting it here first. I think that it doesn't seem bad. I think that
it's not too intimidating.
Man, we have Josh Allen, and like I am critical of our team. I feel like not like publicly anymore, but like to myself, I am very critical of the team and Josh Allen.
Yeah. You gotta be. As a real fan of the game, you have to be. You have to have that level-headed opinion.
The team is on his back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not looking for it to be on McDermott's back anymore. I mean, I don't.
No, Josh is going into year 7 now. Is it really year 7 or year 6? 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. Year 7.
Yeah.
Year 7. So it's like, all right, you're in your athletic prime right now. Like, Okay, we saw it happen last year with Mahomes. Mahomes had no one to throw to, but look at him. He won the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, it's your turn.
Yep.
You don't have an alpha receiver anymore. You traded him away. You have a bunch of guys that you have to elevate. You got a bunch of guys that can play. Don't get me wrong. It's a serviceable wide
probably
receiver
likes
room.
them. He honestly, he probably was like, yo, I like this guy, I like that guy. How about we just get a team that we can build this machine?
And you know what? Best case scenario, Keon Coleman turns out to be alpha. Like, he's wide receiver 1. And then all of these other guys.
Which is very possible.
Exactly. I mean, they drafted him with that in mind. He has the hands. To me, he kind of projects more as like a T. Higgins, where
he's like how Zay Jones is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kind of, because he was like, his hands was amazing.
Sure
out.
hands, like larger in size, kind of
frame,
imposing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But still fast. Like, his game speed plays much faster than his 4.
Yeah, I mean, people that was the big thing. Speed, and like you saw like the drill speed and like the consistency in his speed, which is
he plays so much faster than what he ran in his 40 time. And besides, that's the thing I hate about the 40 time too. Not to get off on a tangent, but it's like you're never running a straight line. Like, that is one route. It's a go route.
Like when John Ross, whenever he ran, like. He's gonna get jammed off the line.
Exactly.
And that 4.1 is immediately a 6.2.
This isn't the CFL.
The moment you get hit, he's running a 6.2 40 now.
This isn't the CFL where you're getting that.
And then if you're running that fast, and when you get hit, if you're running your full speed and you get hit, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
And John Ross has been done, and his hamstring's been done.
And that's
like
why
stuff
I'm
like
kind
that.
of
That's
okay
why.
With the
and
Bills
me too.
Passing on Xavier Worthy too.
Where do you go again? The Chiefs.
Yeah, that was.
They needed him now. Rice is going to be suspended.
Yeah. So the Chiefs are kind of back at square one with their wide receiver situation. But they still don't have anyone. But exactly, they won a Super Bowl without a wide receiver 1.
They let people go.
And it's funny to see the Bills' offense almost like model the Chiefs' offense of years past. You have your big tight end wide receiver threat in Dalton Kincaid or Travis Kelce. You just traded away your alpha receiver in Stephon Diggs or Tyreek Hill.
And you got like a journeyman room.
Exactly. You signed a bunch of guys and you drafted someone. Rashee Rice in the second round.
Well, they traded for Tony. They had made some moves they thought that were going to be great. Chiefs, I mean, they won the Super Bowl. It does not matter.
Right.
MVS was recently on the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Did he do anything against us in the playoff game?
Yeah, he had the catch that pretty much sealed the game. It was that deep ball.
His stats don't look great, but like I think that he can be.
He just shows up. I think
that
he can. Moments.
I think that. I don't know, man. All it depends on these guys' mindset. They come in there and they trust Josh Allen. Josh Allen trusts them, and they realize like they ain't big dog. They're not big dog like Steph Diggs was. Like you just trying to make the team. You got a bunch of receivers trying to make the team. Imagine that.
A bunch of hungry.
Imagine that.
You say you might not have big dog, but you're gonna have a bunch of hungry dogs.
Yeah. For all the dogs.
All right, Drake. But also the last point on that is we might see a much more run heavy team too. They drafted Ray Davis. They still have James Cook, and let's not forget about signing Frank Gore Jr. They signed Frank Gore Jr., which I think of course
they respect his dad
favorite.
heavy, and like I feel like that's somebody they would try to keep if they can. And I seen him interviewed, and it seems like
he wanted to be a Bill.
And it seems like it was real. It was like raw excitement, and it was raw emotion about it. And it was like he didn't doctor it up and say the greatest. He said no, I came only a few times when my dad was here,
right? And
it was like the craziest thing ever.
And he wanted to come here. He chose the Bills. He was undrafted, so he chose the Bills. So. Yeah, so
and like his look at the hereditary. His dad played 20. He was the LeBron James of running backs.
Yes, that's a good. In terms of longevity, yes.
Yeah. I mean, of course, he's not number one statistically, but he's up there in the numbers.
He's like number 4 in most yards all time.
No one, you in a room talking to people about running backs, you're not really bringing up Frank Gore. If you're a 49ers fan, you are.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got the numbers, and it's that longevity, and just like you can count on Frank Gore for 4 yards.
He worked hard.
You're gonna get 4 yards a carry.
And his son probably came from the same.
Exactly. So let's not forget about him. Let's not forget about Darrington Evans, who they signed last year. They kept him on the roster.
He was on the Bears, right?
I
like him.
And then they also don't forget about Ty Johnson.
Oh, they love him.
Exactly. So
I mean, this regime rotates players like it's nothing. These players will be inactive next week and active. I don't know if it can hurt the player too, but they do that.
I gotta
based on game plan.
Before we go, I gotta show a little bit of love to this Bills defense too. This new look Bills defense, because they lost a lot of guys, and I mean we still don't know for sure if Micah Hyde's gonna be here or not. I think
he'll probably announce Sunday. I'm going to the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably announce. You know what? I'll on record. I'll say that he's gonna announce to everybody he's coming back for a year.
Yeah, one more year.
Yes, I'm gonna put that out in the universe.
That would be perfect because they got Cole Bishop waiting in the wings. Cole Bishop, who they spent their 3rd round pick on. That's a great pick, I think.
No, he's a good player.
He's gonna be good. And then they got who was it? It was the D tackle, Dwayne Carter.
Dwayne Carter, I liked. He seemed like somebody that I play Madden a lot, and they always have like the rookie class.
Yep.
And Dwayne Carter was on my team.
Yeah.
And Roma Dunn was too though. And Johnny Wilson. I had a little squad, man. I wanted Johnny Wilson.
You know,
I like that 6'7" frame.
He went to the Texans.
He won't get. He probably won't get that much time right now.
But he's an interesting prospect.
Yeah,
really.
6'7", man.
6'7". That's unheard of. And then what I really like, their offensive tackle too. They signed in the 7th round, the international players pathway. What was his name? Tylen Grable.
Where's he from? UK.
UK. Yeah.
Man, we can't get too hype on him.
Not Grable. It was I can't even remember his name.
We had that one player, Wade. He was
Christian Wade.
Yeah, he was in. What about, you know what? I really loved the Collins signing. Lael Collins.
Oh, Lael Collins. Yeah. I forgot about that. That was kind of just lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Yeah,
he was a left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And Deion Dawkins is a left tackle.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. I think he'll probably switch over to right. Unless he's just a top backup swing tackle.
He's a baller. he did he injured a lot though.
That was that was the big
he was
knock
on that
him.
Cowboys team he was on Cowboys and Texans, right?
Yep. And then they went and grabbed Cedric Van Pran, that center.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be our starting center.
So Connor McGovern is currently slotted into the starting center. I have a feeling that Van Pran is gonna.
Connor McGovern probably don't. He getting paid to be anywhere they tell him to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Travis Clayton, that was the international player pathway player I was thinking of. He was like a rugby star.
Okay, so there's no football tape on him.
No, very minimal. Yeah, no college.
So that means he's athletic. I feel like if you're a rugby player, that means everyone rugby has a chance to run, right? Running back.
He's big. Yeah.
So I feel like if he's gonna be offensive lineman.
He's 6'7", 301, and he's
my God.
Star rugby player.
That's an athlete right there. Dang.
Yeah, they have him currently slated as an offensive tackle, so we'll see how that shakes up, and you might be seeing some
the running back.
Exactly. You might be seeing some of those remember those Tommy Doyle style plays where they'd put him out, or when Deion Dawkins would go out and catch passes.
Yes.
You might see some of that with this Travis Clayton. But that's all I got for the show today.
Yo, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming back. It was only right to have one of my OG guests on in the inaugural new studio episode.
Yes. Yo, I cannot wait. I'll be back here and coming soon. Coming soon. We'll have something for you guys.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for coming on, Dom. Thank you, Maranto and Emerge and BICPP Radio Network. Thank you to everyone listening who stuck with us for the show. I mean, we went just under an hour, so thanks for sticking with me. That's all I have for you. See you guys next time.
Hey.